Or the Department of Agriculture, USDA, food and safety inspection increases 50 million food safety inspection meat with the poultry with the egg product plant to ensure the food safety of the nation. Where several state with their own equivalent inspection program of the federal food safety inspections for the share of the cost of the use program will increase the aid with the support of the increase of the production demand services. Rental assistance grants have positive 74 million. The budget provided the funding with rental assistance grants closing at 1.7 million, prevented the default of $9 million USDA underwriting multifamily housing direct loans that depend on the rental assistance agreement of the services, cost reduction, and consolidation. The National Institute of Food and Agriculture, NIFA, negative 602 million. The budget eliminates way for the working program of the National Institute of Food and Agriculture with the touch of the activities related with the climate change, with the renewable energy, with the promoted DEA, with the education priority, with the body, with the administrative edition of the budget will reduce the funding formula grants process for the rate generally with the do not achieve the same with the result of the competitive program. Instead of the budget focus on the present goal of achieving the competitive American agricultural through the merit-based agricultural food research initiative. The budget protects for the funding with the youth of the K-12 programs such as the H4H Club, the tribal colleges, university investments would help to prepare the future generations of farmers. It also has the HBCU as amply funded. The Agricultural Research and the USDA with the Research Standard Statistical Agency negative $159 million change. Administrative of the Committee with the priority of the research support with the American agriculture. However, the current agricultural research services facilities are in despair. Budget reduces funding with the research side with the national that has succeeded with the ideal lifespan with reduces funding with the research profits that are not the highest national priority. Budget also makes small reduction in economic research with the National Agricultural Statistical Services to stop climate politicalized additional scopes of the Biden administration ensure the critical analysis of data collection continues. National Resource Conservation Service of the private land conservation operation negative $754 million. The budget eliminates discretionary funds for the conservation technical assistance because of the historical received over the $1 billion mandatory funding. In addition to the funding of the state at the local level, while funding with the help of the producer to deploy with the conservation practice with the land, many have been forced to participate with the program in order to comply with the state environmental regulations of the California Irrigated Land Program regulatory program, which regulates agricultural runoff. Cost drivers should be connected with the resource demands that they impose. The NRCS watershed operation there was $16 million. The budget eliminates funding for the renovate locally owned dam with the NRC watershed program. Funding type of the activity is responsible to local dam owners. In addition to the programs receiving the enormous influx funding with the IIJA, currently with the over $100 million unobligated balances between two programs. Rural Development Programs, the negative $721 million USDA Rural Development Program streamlined focus of the program with the demonstrate the efficient control of the appropriate federal role of the infrastructure along with the prioritized aging role, water, wastewater system, wells, technical system through circuit rider of the program balance with reduction of the grant, other special water grants over the earmarks are not funded except with a tax base that cannot be support loan, including maintained for the Native American tribal community facility grants that eliminated with the Congress has eroded the grants earmarking nearly 100% of them. No new USDA funding is needed with the broadband expansion for the existing balance of the federal resource of our meeting plan growth. The budget would also eliminate programs that are duplicated with the small with the macroeconomic impact costs will deliver limited demand available to the private sector that conceive with the temporary with these include with the rural business program, single family housing direct loan, self-housing grants, telecommunication loan, and rural housing voucher for the rural development salaries expense with a reduced commissary. Her family farms over the agency salary expense of the Farm Production Conservation Business Center, negative 135 negative $385 million. First Trump administration streamlined service to farmers, placing the FSA and the RCS risk management agency under the one umbrella. The FBAC with the BCA staff heavily over the farms over the agency struggle with the hiring with the due because of the labor market competition, staff shortage of the lease premise for the underutilized resulting in ways the budget reduces funding in order to reflect agency plans for efficiency, including improving only online services so that farmers are receiving the top services to make their needs. National Forest System Management, negative $392 of the budget, reduced the salaries expense with $342 million, with a save an additional $50 million for the eliminating fund with the collaborative forest landscapes restoration program, reducing fund of recreation, vegetation, watershed management, land management regulation, budget fully support with the President bold actions of the Executive Order 1422-5, media expansion of the American timber production, and improve the forest management, and increase the domestic timber production, and the administrative goal of restoring federalism and empowering the state to pursue with a great role of the managing forest land within their border of the requested funding level to support with the highest priority of the forest management, including the timber sale of the hazardous fuel removal removal, mineral extraction, grazing, wildlife habitat management. Foods for Forest Service operation negative 391 million. The budget reduced the funds expended for the increase of the salaries, facility leases, streamline agency management structure, raise over the real property footprint. This line is the president goal to restoring federalism, increasing state authority with land management within their borders. State and local travel the NGO with the conservation program negative 303 million. Budget reduced for the grant program, subsidized management, state with the privately going forward for the program has played with the oversight of the issue that included the allegation of the proprietary of both each and state government when the budget provided with robust support with the federal land fire with the management activities alongside with the state with local partner. For the partner should encourage the funds of their own community preparedness for the risk mitigation activities. Forest range land research except for the forest inventory and analysis negative 300. But the president has pledged for the managed national forest with the intent of the purpose of providing timber. The budget reduced the funding with the forest and range land research program because of the outship of the will, particularly need with the forest member with the timber production, but maintains funding of the formal inventory analysis, long-standing sensitive to the forest resource and conditions. Commodity supply supplemental food program negative 425 million. The commodity supplemental food was established to ensure the low-income senior with the 60 with a daily nutrition need with a further improve the health of senior with a consistent with the President Make America Healthy Again Act, an initiative of the budget of the committee supplemental food program, which has been with the DEI log rolling, replacing the Make America Healthy Act and food boxes. Make America Healthy Act food boxes remove the ministry of the middleman, provide higher quality food directly to the senior with unlike current approaching with the food banks, provide with his need with a shelf stable with the foods high sodium other harmful ingredients. With the Make America Health Act, Healthy Again boxes could be filled with the commodities of the source of the domestic formula given directly with the American household. With these approaches, box commodities highly successful end of the first Trump administration of the COVID pandemic response. McGovern Dole Food Education Program, negative 240. McGovern Dole Food Education Program buys American commodity for the U.S. farmer to donate for the form of foreign aid. Only small portion of the program funding goes toward purchasing U.S. commodity, but given the high transportation costs, a large portion of the funding will provide with the technical assistance each donated for the commodity with donated $37 million of the 2023 0.1% U.S. crop sales. And undercutting commodity with the prices of the markets abroad, USDA have the numerous programs to support farmers with the difficulty with the program neither necessary with a more efficient super war with the U.S. Farm in addition over the year empirical data with the government accounting standard USDA with the Office of Inspector General show high cost dubious result of the oversee the elimination of the program and consistently eliminate other kind of the international food donation programs and budget, including the food program food piece of the Title II grants. Department of Treasury increased